Maybe. All right, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is November. It is episode 34, 35. It is 34. But you know what? Here we go. We have Jeff from Up North. Thank you for
Hey.
joining us.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get into tonight with everybody. So I'll just say up front, we have everything from DNA of a unknown human. eh, Well, we're going to say a undocumented human lineage, and we are going to maybe talk some space travel for humans from the planet, and we're going to get into the fact that Jeff is about to go somewhere else that everyone, if you haven't gone, including myself and recently invited by Cliff Dunning from Earth Ancients, we're going to get into where he's going to be traveling to shortly. So, yeah, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. No, it's getting a little chilly up here, so like you said, we'll be taking a trip soon into next week, so a little bit warmer where I'm headed.
Yeah, all right. Since you know what, you should just tell everybody, where are you heading?
I'm heading to Egypt.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how long? Where are you going? You're going to Egypt.
Yep.
And will you commit to just like the 13-hour or whatever it is, 8-hour difference to like popping on the show while you're there? Huh?
I'll try. It all depends because I will have a roommate in the hotels, so it depends on what time. Because it'll be, I think it's 8 or 9 hours ahead. So is it 8 o'clock now? It'll be like 4. But I
You
don't
know,
know.
we have some friends here.
Math isn't my strong suit this time of night. But
We
yeah,
are
no,
talking.
if I get a chance, absolutely.
All right. So where are you going to be? Where are you going to be going
To Cairo,
in general?
into Cairo. So we'll be doing the pyramids, the Sphinx, and all that. Actually, that'd be
Okay. Are you going to be going underground?
right here.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to be going to the Serapeum? Are you going to be going to the Syrian? Are you going to be hitting any of the underground?
Yep, we'll be going to Saqqara.
All right.
Yep. So I'm really looking forward to that. Step Pyramid of Zoser, the Memphis Open Air Museum. Then we're gonna head down to Luxor. Temples in the Sphinx Avenue, Karnak. I'm gonna go to Karnak Temple, Luxor Temple, Valley of the Kings. We're doing that. Hatshepsut Temple, Colossi of Memnon, some bazaars, and then also the that new museum that.
Oh, I heard this.
Yeah,
It's pretty spectacular. I heard.
it just opened up or reopened, whatever they did. So yeah, no, really looking forward to that. The
So
culture shock.
the step, you are going to the Step Pyramid,
Yes.
which you said Djoser. For those that don't know, it's spelled with a D, which makes zero sense. And but whatever. So you're going to the Step Pyramid, and I'm excited about that because Matt Bale recently made news in the last probably few months on all the machined vases that he owns. He has a collection. He was also Michael Cremo's. Oh, we hosted ArchaeoX. We hosted Michael Cremo's book launch party. Basically, his Extreme Human Antiquity. We covered the launch, but then in 2 weeks prior, he was on Matt Bale's show, and Matt has a collection of machined, highly advancedly the tooling marks and everything else show highly advanced markings for extreme human. I mean, not only antiquity, pre-dynastic Egypt, but a lot of this was found in the Step Pyramid. And
sorry.
No, I'm done. Go for it.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. No, I was just going to say I'm
just
really excited for this trip. Looking forward to it. Someplace I always wanted to go. It's not something I thought I'd be doing, though, in reality. So
really, because
Said I
Yeah,
was
you
going to
don't think
yeah,
you would have done it?
I don't know. Well, I just went to Peru last fall. I was like, there's no way I could do another trip, you know. And it's like, okay, now we're going to Egypt. It's like, if I don't go on this trip, I am going to deeply regret it.
Well,
So,
so who do you know that's going with that you're
so
going with
the,
you?
yeah, so the host of the tour is Michael Collins, the Wandering Wolf, and he's also did the tour in Peru last year. That's where I first went and met him. He met a few other friends that I still talk to actually quite often. So there's a handful of the Peru trip folks that are going, and then I think we have a group of 35 people that are going on this one. So it's a decent sized group. But
All right.
Forbidden Frontier, Gary from Neurotics, Adam Krigler, X-Ray Girl, stuff like folks like that. So
Really good group.
Mhm.
This is all you coming fresh off of the Artifact Conference.
Yep.
That was just what, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
Uh almost a month now actually. Yeah, it was the first week in
Oh,
October.
it was fun
Yeah.
being there the year before.
No, we wish you could have made it. It was a good time. Had
You know what? And what? I'll complain silently.
I was gonna say there's a lot of good presenters this year. One of them was Ricardo Calvario, and he's been doing a lot of research and deep diving into Bronze Age copper mines in Europe and Eastern Asia or Eastern Asia, West Asia, whatever,
Okay.
around the Mediterranean. And he's been
And
doing deep dive in that, and then comparing the numbers of the copper that would have been mined from those copper mines in the old world to the amount of bronze tools and weapons that they made, and how the numbers don't add up. And then it would coincide with the copper mining in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, the amount of copper that is suspected to have been mined. It's such a broad number, and we'll never really know for sure. And then how most of that copper, if even a small percentage of the amount that they figure in the millions of pounds was excavated or mined, we haven't found even 1% of the amount of artifacts that those copper would have made. So that's where Michigan's copper fueling the Bronze Age. He's tying those theories together, and he did the isotopic material testing from Bronze Age tools found in Europe and native Michigan copper. He presented all those findings, and it was really cool. I actually had him on my show a couple of weeks ago.
all
So we could go
right.
over all that. Yeah. No, I made friends with him, Chris Finneyfrock. They were both there. So no, it was a really good time.
Yeah. What did can you share a little bit of the results?
Yeah. So Michigan's copper is the purest copper. As far as we know, it's the only place in the world you can find this mass amount of pure copper, 99.99% copper. And one of the materials that they compared the testing to was Otzi the Iceman's X, copper X. And the copper content along with the mercury content, which mercury is higher in amount. I think it was mercury is arsenic. But anyways, it's higher amount in Michigan's copper than it is in, say, forged copper or smelted copper. And Otzi the Iceman's Axe, I think the copper content came back as 99.93, even though the numbers on the paper say 73 is actually a typo. Ricardo said it's 93.
Oh, that's interesting.
97. Yeah, and
What a weird
anything.
typo.
Yep, and even smelted copper from old world Europe doesn't even get that pure, and it burns all the impurities away, like the arsenic and the nickel or lead. So, and I
Wow.
think another bronze tool that they compared to native Michigan copper was also that high 99.95 or higher. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to be doing more testing, hopefully, more artifacts, or I believe curated for museums or from a museum, and just keep doing more tests on it. See if there's any more correlation to it, or if it was just a one-time thing.
Yeah, just a one time. That's just right.
Even
One time
once though,
thing.
even one Bronze Age tool found in Europe having the same basically fingerprint as Michigan's native copper. Rewrites history
Not
right there
possible.
completely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chris kind of managed that fine himself. I mean, it made, everybody gets their 15 minutes, and we had Chris on the show way early on after the discovery that, makes international news, and it lasted 5 days.
Right.
Michigan, Colorado, England.
Mm-hmm. It's starting to pick up speed right now, though.
Do you think the shockwave, you think by the time you get to Egypt, when you travel next week, do you think they have any copper left that, could show up from Michigan? Huh?
Well,
Michigan copper.
it depends on whose collection it's in.
Isn't that crazy? If they're willing to do the testing, we're going to find out. If they're not, it's going to, in quotes, stay a mystery.
Well, the fact that people would say, even archaeologists or museum curators, if they refuse to do it outright, it's kind of suspicious in itself. Wouldn't you want to know? You could find out exactly where it came from within general region.
Wait, they refuse?
No, I'm just saying if they did, like say, hey, we want to
Oh, yeah.
compare these artifacts, the copper content in the bronze, to the isotope analysis that we've done on raw copper out of Michigan's Keweenaw Peninsula. It's a very, very tiny microscopic piece they take out of the artifact for testing. From what I'm aware, is you don't even notice anything was extracted from it. So it wouldn't be damaging it in any way. I don't know. I think that'd be a good opportunity for anyone, even if you're in the scientific community or have a collection of this stuff. Would you not want to know? Would you not be curious, or would it make your entire life of studying and all your degrees crumble and have to reset? Which I don't think that would happen.
Well, that's exactly the point, right?
Everything. Yeah, you definitely have to relearn your whole understanding of the ancient world and westward civilization and immigration, world trade routes, stuff like that.
That throws everyone off in all the ways, in the worst ways. It is awful. Well, right. That's if you think of things about, if knowledge and seeking the truth is relevant to you, then this would be something that you would want to check into.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already finding it, like you said. So we have it in England. The results that he's talking about. This is a Mediterranean travel. This is a massive trade route. It's a massive trade area. So you're going to end up being in this tour group. You're going to be in Egypt. You're going to Saqqara. You're going to the step. You're going to the Step Pyramid. You're going to Luxor. Where else?
I just had pulled up. Luxor, yeah, Karnak Temple, Luxor Temple, Valley of the Kings, West Luxor, Hatshepsut Temple, Colossi of Memnon, doing a Sunset Nile River sailing cruise.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
The temple at Karnak, there's a couple interesting things about that. It's geometrically perfect. I don't know if you knew that.
I couldn't remember exactly where it was, but thank you for clearing that up in my head. But yeah,
that's one of the things about it.
Okay, continue on.
Yeah. No, it's geometrically there's no explanation for its geometry being perfect in the front, and also it's megalithic. So again, there's that part, and obviously the Egyptians adopted it. The interior, this is also the one with all the like the blues in it, correct?
I think
all the hieroglyphs.
Yeah. Yep. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, I don't have a picture of it. It was just an itinerary.
Yes.
I think that's
So this is when Muhammad Ibrahim takes Cliff Dunning's group, which is they're going again soon.
Okay.
Well, fairly enough. So if you go to Earth Ancients, everyone, we're not associated with it. Cliff Dunning invited us. So the entire ceiling of that temple is a single slab. It's not pieces. It's like 5-6 feet thick, and it's so many It's incredible the size. There's just no way the Egyptians cut it's basically megalithic, just the lid to the temple alone, not to mention the precision. So it's going to be exciting. You're going to take a ton of pictures, I hope.
Oh yeah, lots of pictures, lots of videos. Maybe I'll even try to shoot on some lives at decent times while I'm walking through in certain places. Like, hey, look at this.
Hey, hey, look, I'm up for getting up. Whatever your
All
schedule
right.
is, send the itinerary, and then maybe we could do some YouTube shorts. We'll get some stuff out there, look at it. Besides, we're going to be doing more stuff with. I think that those kind of that's exactly perfect timing for shorts. And besides, you still got to go get some Turkish coffee, which I don't know if you've had, and I know it's Egypt, but for those that don't know, this is like a super syrupy, thick coffee that is prominent in the Middle East and the upper North Africa. This area, they drink a whole different chemistry of coffee, a completely
I'm
different chemistry.
up for trying new things. It's like I hear they eat
Uh,
pigeon.
oh,
Pigeon's a
everything.
delicacy, so
Okay, I think like there are many things that taste like rabbit or chicken, and like rabbit, and why
mhm.
not pigeon? I can't
Yeah, I ate guinea pig in Peru, and that tastes
like
pretty
chicken.
good. No, it was a little greasier than chicken.
Oh gosh, then that
Yeah.
does not. You're not selling me on it right now.
Okay, a little greasier than chicken, more kind of like you like frog legs, but they don't taste like chicken.
No.
No, it's hard to explain really, but I don't know. Maybe it was a seasoning they used, but it was deep fried, and I thought it was fantastic. They stuffed a
So wait.
potato inside of it.
Oh gosh. So are you talking about guinea pigs, or are you talking about frog legs, or both?
Guinea pigs.
Okay. So I'm just saying Turkish coffee. I'm just saying that the markets and the places you're going to be able to go, because there's the
Hmm.
ancient antiquity stuff, and you're going to Saqqara, the Step Pyramid. Other thing I didn't mention, I mentioned there was tens of thousands, over I believe the number was over 50,000 vases found, high tech, well
There was that
spun.
many. I didn't know they
Yeah.
found that many. I know they found. I thought they. I suppose yeah. If it's just pieces of them, I know they found a chamber that was just full of broken ones. But
Oh no, the actual fines was over.
hmm.
The number I got was 40 or 50,000, and they were down there. They were hoarding them. I think they were well sought after, because some of them are so translucent you can see through. You can see your hands through them. They're made out of
Hmm.
crystals. They're made out of the hardest stones. They're thin. They're thick. They're tall. They're small. And the step pyramid, and everyone says, "Oh, it's the first pyramid in Egypt," which is great. What's more important about it, and what a lot of people don't know, is that underground, underneath the megalithic portion of it, is about 90 to over 100 feet in size, and it is precision. The interior, center, and what's underground, and where they chose to build that pyramid, is not the outside of it that's impressive. It is the underground structure that is beyond amazing. It's precision megalithic construction, which may have prompted them to build a pyramid in that location. And then there's the why they put all those vases into that structure and hid them there. That's a dynastic thing. Maybe the Egyptians did it because they were trying to preserve them in some catastrophic time. I don't know, but I'd be curious. If you could live stream from there, that would be epic.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Sweet.
Definitely,
So
like whole new ball game this time around. That since I started doing YouTube, so
how
a
long
lot more
are you going to
content.
be in Egypt?
The tour itself is 7 days, but I'm getting there a day early and I'm leaving a day later. Also, about 9.5 days.
That sounds like torture. It
Yeah,
should be like a 2 week. It should be like a 2 week trip.
it should be, but I can only afford so much.
Okay, so now that I've economically shamed you on YouTube, this is great. This is
Yeah,
how this is
yeah.
going to go.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks
You're
a lot,
welcome.
Jared. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I
We'll
took
see
it
how it
there. It's
is.
like, you should be able to stay for more.
No,
So,
not this time.
okay, all right. So this is you did say you've been in Peru, and isn't this trip an alternate? You were going to go to Turkey, correct?
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Turkey, and
And
due
then,
to some issues with certain well-known archaeologists going after my friend Michael because they posted a video about Gobekli Tepe, him and Jimmy Corsetti. He
he was part. They were part of all that.
my
Yeah,
Wandering Wolf Mike. He was supposed to do that
he.
tour, and then people like Flint and stuff went after
Yeah, we have to
him,
be
the
careful.
Turkish government. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got no personal beef.
No, but you want to
He
go
has
on
me
your
blocked.
trips.
He has me blocked on Twitter, so I must have done something right.
Who has you blocked?
Flint Dibble.
Oh,
I don't know what I did, but hey, I'll take it. I'm in a prestigious club.
all right. Congratulations. Okay, you, Corsetti, and the Wolf.
No,
So yeah,
there's a lot of people, but it's nice
ban
to
them
know I'm
all.
part of the prestigious. Put my name on that wall,
I don't think I'm officially banned, so that's great. So,
Perfect. You got time.
all right. I think I've avoided. We've covered Egypt. You were in, like you said, some of the people coming with you are from Peru that went with you on the Peru expeditions. Now you're going to Egypt. We have a couple things to share currently. Should I be pulling those up now? Should we move on? I mean, I can't obviously.
Yeah. I got
So
stuff that you sent over to me all set to go here. So if you want to,
all right. So should I pull up our first one?
yeah, just tell me where to go and I'll
Okay.
use around.
Well, you know what? The one I want to get to, of course, for everyone listening, we've just covered Jeff's soon-to-be trip in Egypt, and we are going to be talking about some crazy DNA finds. We've covered Michigan, copper being in Europe and England again, but we are stepping to someplace in space right now. So
I
I'll let you
can
take
pull
it.
up whichever.
Oh no, let's start with space
You want to start with
because
space?
I want your take on this.
All right. You reading? Am I reading? What are we doing here?
You do it,
Sorry.
and then you tell me what you think. Because now Christy and I spoke about this a little bit, but I really want your take on this.
Okay. I know you mentioned it to me earlier, and I didn't have a chance to look at it, but
No, this is great. Well, hey, look, in short, I mean, I can just say it. No Way Back, meet Chrysalis, the 36-mile starship designed to carry 1,000 humans away from Earth forever. And the idea is they're going to create, in fact, I'm going to jump ahead on this.
okay.
The idea is it's going to spin, so it's going to create gravity, and they'll essentially have gravity, and they're just not going to come back. But I would ask you to glance through, and I figured I just want your unique up north perspective on what 1,000 humans are going to do in for however long they think they're going to travel in a massive spaceship.
First of all, is there any way to actually generate gravity that we have confirmed at that scale yet? Because I haven't heard of anything yet. Or is this just designed for it?
Giant rotating cylinders, biome domes and synthetic ecosystems. So as you know, as you're scrolling through it, the idea is that anything rotating is going to create a gravity onto itself. Essential, we're going with the basics right now. But yeah, anything standing out.
130-meter high observation area with transparent walls facing away from the ship's trajectory, offering views of deep space and the receding sun. This would not only serve as a community space and symbolic heart of the vessel, but also as a gathering site for an annual plenary assembly. So we're going to test this in Antarctica? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What
do you think?
Okay. Let's see here. Given its staggering mass, estimated at 2.4 billion tons, not pounds, tons. Vessels will be constructed not in Earth but in space. The team proposes building the vessel at Lagrange Point 1, a gravitationally stable region between Earth and the Moon, where construction could occur with minimal fuel requirements, NASA describes. L1 is an ideal location for spacecraft parking due to its orbital balance. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, are they gonna? Is this what the new space station is gonna start as? They just say, "Oh, it's a space station." Just keep adding to it, and then gone.
Yeah, eventually it's going to be 34 miles, 37 miles long. Maybe they'll add on to it. Maybe they'll shorten it up. But
That's huge.
I mean, hell, I'm in the Twins. Yeah, no, go for it.
I was just gonna say, don't most city blocks hold that many people?
You know, to give people an idea, I'm currently in the Twin Cities, and the reason Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota are considered the Twin Cities is that the downtowns are 9 miles apart. So a 34-mile long spaceship, where I'm in a city with over 1 million people, or cities, the greater Twin City metropolitan area has over 3 million in 7 counties. And a 34-mile, that's if we looked at it as a diameter. So we don't really know. I don't know if you see exactly what the diameter would be of the tubing that would be this spinning 34 miles long, but I don't know how wide it is.
Does it say?
I don't know.
Anything. Yeah, and that's another thing I was just thinking about. So I mean, we know the Cosmos Dome is 130 meters high, but I don't know what that would be.
Right. So, and here's the other thing. What are they going to make it out of? And exactly how long do they think they're going to build this thing? Like what generation?
I mean, I'd like to see the gravity generating technology
How much
first.
gravity?
I mean, I think, but maybe they can't really test it right now because it has to be so big, and that also comes into another account. If you're in Earth's orbit, where you say you're going to be building this thing,
Yeah,
at
right.
34 miles, do you think that it would be like pulled into the Earth? The more and more you add to it, the more and more mass you add to it.
34 miles. 35 miles is a drop in the bucket when we think about how far away the moon and the Earth is. Just the moon and the Earth.
Right, but I mean, even something as large as a moon is in Earth's orbit like that. I suppose it's not getting any closer. So as long as you're in that right speed, I suppose that makes sense.
I believe there's a video that will show the distance, planetary distance, for us to get everything together planetary wise. There's a lot of space between us and the sun, and us and the Earth and the moon. There's more than enough space, I think, to put a 34-mile, 37-mile long anything and for it to not maybe sink.
Right. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's something like that is just kind of mind-boggling because you think of Interstellar with the gravity generating the big station itself is spinning around. That's when you told me about this, I said, "Isn't that just the stuff from Interstellar?"
Exactly. We could, and Matthew McConaughey. I don't know what they're going to get, clones or what, but with a whole ship of interstellar, Matthew McConaughey is going out to space and never coming back.
He just like someone finds it someday out in the middle of deep space. Like, what is this? It's Earth's first deep space spaceship. You open the door, just thousands of people. All right.
Great. So they're basically on a Family Guy. Then it's just Quagmire. All right.
Giggity.
Okay. So we've covered as much as we can with that. I really want to get to this DNA thing. If I was going to pick, I'm going to say DNA next, and what's been found in South America. We got that up. So.
Nope. I gotta stop sharing quick.
All right. So this is something that I've been really curious about. I think this is pretty crazy. Scientists found 6,000-year-old human remains. No other people share their DNA. And before we get into the article, I want to say this is something I've spoken on for years. We have the Paracas of Peru, the elongated
Mhm.
skull people. It is not cranial deformation. Brian Forster wrote on this. There's suture lines within the skull that look like human. There's like this cross, kind of a zigzag stitching of the human skull. For Paracas, they are different. The foramen magnum, which is where your arterial dissections, where they go into your skull for your blood supply, they are at a certain place under your jaw. They are different on Paracas. And the elongated skull is not from smashing the head, they are from natural development. And then the DNA is showing that they're from the Black Caucasus region. And this is not what we're talking about yet right now. We are looking at something new. So I'm prefacing this because the Paracas, just like the Michigan copper DNA or the Michigan copper unique signature of that metallurgy being in England and the Middle East, we are talking about DNA of humans that are entirely different. And before we get to the article, I'm explaining the Paracas, which are found in Peru, elongated skull people, and elongated skull people are found all over the earth, and not just cranial deformations, even in Egypt. These are naturally born, the Black Caucasus region, originally. The DNA is from what we've been able to track, but we're talking completely different, slightly different bone structured, skull shaped, arterial dissections. We're talking about a different kind of human. They're not giants. They're not leprechauns. They're not little people. We're talking something different. So now here it is, popular mechanics. You want to read a little bit of this article?
Yeah.
Because this is something new.
No, this one's new to me. Like I said earlier when we were talking before the show, I thought I heard something about it, but I just hadn't had a chance to look into it. So, as I said,
Yeah,
scientists wants.
you go for it.
All right, I was just gonna start reading. Sorry about that, Jared. All right. So, an analysis of bones from ancient people who once lived in Colombia has discovered DNA that does not directly connect them to any other ancient or modern population in South America. It is thought that these people might somehow be related to speakers of Chibchan languages, which are spoken in the area where they once lived. More genomic research will be needed to demystify, who these unknown people were and whose ancestors they may be. Let's see. You want me to continue on?
Yeah, go for it a little bit.
Yeah. Around 6,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers who migrated south settled in Bogota Altiplano of what is now Colombia, transitioning to an agricultural society over the next 4,000 years. Then they vanished. Whoever these people were, they disappeared from the genetic record. The team of researchers who discovered them through fragmented DNA in the skeletal remains have not been able to find any ancient relatives or modern descendants. They are strangely not related to indigenous Colombians, having more of a connection to people who now live on the Isthmus of Panama and speak Chibchan languages. It could be possible that they spread through the region, mixing with local populations for so long their genes were diluted, but no one can be sure.
Okay, so it raises a lot of questions, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Do you like how they kind of just okay, no critique. I love popular mechanics, but they're not. It's kind of a huge like, oh my gosh thing, isn't it? This is not
Yeah.
practice. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, you think even after even thousands of years of diversifying your gene pool, we'll say, there'd still be parts in your DNA that are still connected to the people that came before you. I don't know how you can dilute it so much in only 4,000 years from what they're saying.
Well, yeah, their top number was what? It started the article title at 6,000 years.
Yeah.
We have a DNA. We have non-sequential. We have a DNA structured human that is not corresponding to anyone. But you know what's left out of this? Don't you find it interesting that they don't relate it to any other? You say, oh, it's not related to anyone in Central or South America. And I'm adding that. I mean, they said a
Yeah.
little different, but at the same time, they're not saying it matches anyone anywhere else. You see
Yeah,
how
they're just
easy that is?
they're saying they're not strangely not related to indigenous Colombians.
But they're not saying that it's also strangely not related to anyone. Okay, so
Puerto
one, you don't want to say you don't want you could say they're Russian, you could say that they're Asian, you could say that they're
Mhm.
Middle Eastern, but that wouldn't look good. So, and they're not coming from North America, clearly.
Mhm.
There's just kind of, isn't there like a silent acknowledgement that it's like, okay, it's not anyone from Canada or North America in general or Alaska, or it's not, it's got to be
Yeah.
from somewhere, you know?
Well, I mean, whereas Colombia, that's northeastern part of South America. My geography is a bit bad.
For where they're at.
Yeah.
Well, there's the
Colombia.
other, that's another, by the way, before you even back up on that,
Mhm.
they're talking about it not being from, how do they not know? Well, they have one set of DNA, right? It could be
Yeah.
from Brazil. It could be people in Brazil. It could be people in Chile. It could be yes, Colombia.
Mhm.
But there can be no assumption then at 6,000 years ago if you have one DNA set from something that has no biomarkers for it anywhere else in Central and South and North America. They're not again also saying that there's no marker for it. And they would have said, oh, it's but they didn't. Well,
Yeah.
they didn't say it was European.
Yeah. Maybe look at other DNA patterns around the world instead of just cherry picking the one small location that they found it in.
Well, there's the thing, isn't the silence golden? Because it'd be just like it's back to the Michigan copper.
It always comes back to the copper, no matter what.
Yeah, because they could say it's someone from Europe, but that would indicate European travel 6,000 years ago, which they can't have.
Well, then they'd say like what they do with the haplogroup X. It's oh wow, it just came over across the Bering Straits after they traveled across through Asia and then came across. That's how we have the Indians, the Ojibwe, and Anishinaabe have the same marker as people around the Mediterranean.
Exactly. So you can't acknowledge that it's anyone from Europe, but also we're dealing with and how okay, so we have the practice of Peru, we have this Colombian DNA. And then I know of, and if the Black Caucasus region of the Middle East slash Europe or North America, North Africa, whatever you can say about the Paracas elongated skull people being in Europe, now you have another DNA group that, and all the Hopala or like the
Mhm.
Phoenician strain. It's like we have this in North America. We know the Phoenicians are traveling. They're genetically related to a number of indigenous people, or they're related to Phoenicians, and among other things. So then, and there's symbols, and Karl Lagerberger's book on all the Celtic and Egyptian and Phoenician symbols and things that have been found all over east to west coast. So what would it say? What's fascinating to me is that at 6,000 years ago, we now have another group of humans that are, I possibly, in my optimistic mind, is not showing up anywhere else on Earth, or they are, and they're not corresponding to any of the stories told about the cultures that we think exist.
Yep.
Just
And that's actually right in around the area that. So I did a video about a little less than a month back about the the Phoenicia. It was a ship that was built in 2007, 2008,
okay,
and it was a replica of a
okay,
Phoenician ship that they found in the Mediterranean. They built it the same way, used the same type of woods and structure and everything. They sailed it around the entire continent of Africa and then back
okay,
to the Straits of Gibraltar, and then eventually made it back to I think it was Carthage. And then in 2019, 2020, they started in Carthage, sailed out through the Straits of Gibraltar, across the Atlantic Ocean, ended up in the Bahamas just by following, the sea, the winds, and the Gulf Stream.
okay.
That's not where you land in Hispaniola there, that's not far from, go a little further south, you're in Colombia. So it just proves that the Phoenicians and any Bronze Age seafaring, especially the kings of the Mediterranean, the Minoans, Phoenicians, stuff like that, their ships were capable of making it across the Atlantic Ocean. And that Gulf Stream is going to bring them right down to that area where they found this 6,000-year-old body that's not related to any other DNA in the area.
Yep. And again, they're saying there's so much being said, not being said. You have the Bay again. Yet it seems to stay out of everyone's mindset. The Bay of Amphora Jars in Brazil. You have the excuse is well, a Roman ship was thrown off. There are thousands. The amount of amphora jars, which are transports for anything Roman, which is after the Phoenicians. You have clearly trade and travel based on prior maps and prior information. You have the Romans traveling to Brazil and the remnants of shipwrecks that there's just no way they were put off track or off. Yes, there's ghost ships and there's all sorts of strange things about the oceans.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't look isolated. The Bay of Amphora Jars, for those that are interested, look it up.
I have to remember that.
I'd like to be more conversational. I just get a little hot-headed about some of these. Yet again, it's like we're standing in front of a 747 saying that's a ritual temple when it's a 747. It's like, well, they didn't understand.
Yeah.
Or they're what?
I was gonna say, are those little gold figurines that look like airplanes?
Oh, I know, right?
Yep. It's a bird. It's definitely a bird.
Well, that's a pretty straight wing for a bird.
Like, that, in a sense, that makes sense. But maybe someone was like, I want to fly like the birds, and just started Da Vinciing up a glider or something like that, I mean, we've seen what they could do with rock. Can you imagine what they could do with the right amount of other sticks and leaves and feathers?
Well, they're making ladles, they're making spears, they're making spoons, they're making stuff that's handheld and or flight capability, at least as far as maybe killing or hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not? You see a bird stretch out its wings, you grab really light in your mind, you grab really light. As much as we've as kids, or what I think of it about it as kids, but we folded up and made paper airplanes. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we just take a big fern leaf, fold it up, and try to make it into something aerial? And then from there, someone who is really like, I want to fly like a bird. I'm also not watching cable or Netflix because it's ancient times. I have some time to keep my hands busy. Would you not keep your hands busy?
Yeah. I'm just imagining someone on top of one of the old Aztec or Maya pyramids, like big fern leaves coming out. Just watch this. I could do it. Didn't make it.
Right. And then it's like, okay, fine. Maybe somebody actually endeavored and say, guys, this is going to work. I've already flown a squirrel. I started with like putting some rocks under. I've just made a bigger version. I just know a bigger version proportionally is going to work. I'm the size of that rock. I'm now gonna jump off this cliff. And everyone was like, well, crap, we're not doing that again. After they don't fly.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the ancient people were just as human as we are. They had the same wants and needs. The only difference is we have more modern day luxuries.
Exactly.
What they had. I mean, they had their own luxuries, don't get me wrong. They were just different. So we can't really relate ourselves to what they had until you think, well, they were just as human. So they had the curiosities.
They did. And I think they lived a lot differently than what's explained to us. When you have, when we were down there lidaring and working on those Belizean Mayan ruins, those pyramid structures are 270 feet in the air, and the jungle is hot. It is hot. We have air conditioning on in where we're staying because we're on the ocean, and it is humid. It is 100 degrees, 100% humidity. You get to go up on those 270-foot tall mounds where there's multiple buildings and multiple structures, and I'm like, oh, it's all ceremonial this, and there's and all the modeling pictures are artistic and renditions. There's people up there for ceremonies. They're not actually. It's like that's not where the markets are, where the elites are, or where there are people just being. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that why would you not be up there on a day-to-day, all-day basis if you were more of an elite or had a certain income class? Because when you get up there, the air, and it's only 270 feet, but the breeze is significant. It's
Oh,
Rex from Leap Project, by the way. Rex has joined us, so hello, Rex.
hey.
And it's good to see you, dude. Um, what the hell is going on in here is what you had to say. All right, everything and nothing. Uh, Jeff from up north, meet Rex from Leap Project,
Hey.
and and Jeff is going to be going to Egypt in a week, and we've already covered that, and now we've just covered the mysterious DNA that is not known on Earth that was just found in Colombia in Central America, which is yet again just like the Paracas, more humans and only six. By the way, we have to back up on this for a second.
Yeah.
Do you find it odd? How many human races are there that there is genetic dating even as close as 6,000? Because we have soft tissue from T-Rexes, we have soft tissue from mastodons, which mastodons like, oh, that's only 30,000 years old. But we're saying that a T-Rex hasn't been around 30 million years, and we have soft tissue. So if only 6,000 years ago, the Paracas and now this other mystery group in Colombia doesn't have matching DNA to anything that's known. And again, specifically, yes, Popular Mechanics specifically said not known to Central America, not known. However, could it have been known then to Europe? So that kind of squashes the intercontinental travel thing. Or is it more mysterious? Not only is it intercontinental travel, but how many other races of humans were around even 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, or to this day? How many different races are there actually living that we don't have DNA for?
Oh, easily. I mean, look at all the uncontacted tribes. I mean, they've been contacted. We have pictures of them. We're flying over their islands. Loggers are finding, but still, even those tribes, I guarantee that we don't have an actual sample of their DNA, because you imagine walking in there and trying to poke one with a needle, you would make it out. So,
Nope.
and then how many
No,
of
or
those are
swamp.
there? Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you're right. Not only how many are those, how many times do you think somebody submits genetic samples to one of these public testing companies and they come up with an answer like that this thing is Paracas or this thing is this other DNA sequencing or it's something else where it's like this, there's nothing known for this. How often does that stuff just get automatically handed over to someone else that it doesn't end up in public knowledge? Not
I
to
have a
get
feeling
down
that
the
all the DNA ends up handed over to someone else.
okay. So there's
Yeah.
a chance that
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No. You think it's going into some sort of database?
Yeah, absolutely. You're already in a database, like you do the 23andMe or the Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
You're in the
Well, the
database.
question: how many
Go
times
ahead.
does it end up in a database where yeah we're not going to know the answers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and how often does it maybe get mixed up where they send the information to the wrong people or
Right.
cross contamination somehow? Which, I mean, highly unlikely there'd be any cross contamination if there is scientific as they say. But yeah, I don't know.
All right. So now we have more DNA evidence. We have all the again Michigan copper showing up. You can't. Well, here's another thing. Wait a minute. In reverse, there's exports of it, but what about Chinese metallurgy or Japanese or just anything Eastern Asia showing up in America or anything? Again, we think of copper or we think of the Michigan copper showing up somewhere, but what about metallurgy travel to America? I never think about it. I think about coins being found there. Like there's been wells dug and there's been mines where they pulled old um, coins that shouldn't exist in America. That's true. There's Egyptian and Celtic and general, what we find. Like some of those statues. I mean, you're pretty familiar with a lot of the Upper Michigan statues that are just completely trippy and look like they're either Incan or Mayan, or definitely not of their Bronze Age. You've seen some of the
Yeah,
from
I've
some of
seen
the
The Michigan Relics, yeah.
Yeah. Do any of them stand out in your mind that are just like what the hell? Besides all of them, I mean, is there any of them that I've held some of them? Some of the figurines are like 3-4 inches, but
Hmm.
that they're what have you? Any of them stand out for you?
The pipes. For some reason, I think the pipes are always interesting.
What do you mean
Uh,
pipes?
like those little like the smoking pipes that they found in some of them. They're still loaded with the like the mystic symbol and all that, all the etchings and stuff. But that and the tablets that like Wayne May has that he's brought on display, the clay tablets, the drawings, the cuneiform, and the stuff like that on them. Those really stand out the most to me because it's one of those. It looks like it could be ancient. It's got all the writings on it, but who knows? You know, there's been so much over the past 100 and some years of they're fakes, they're fakes, they're fakes. But then you have other researchers like Henrietta Mertz that went in and studied them, said they're real. Those
All
ones I
right,
think
so the
really stand out the most to me because that's the most talked about ones on both sides. Even though there's more on their fake side than on the perhaps could be real side
what
that you
do
can
they
find.
know? What all
Sorry,
right, so is there information on what the cuneiform tablets say?
somewhere I don't have it with me, but I've tried looking online and you can't find anything. It all just goes to hoaxes. But
Okay.
I do have a book, The Mystic Symbol. So I've been reading that, Henrietta Mertz. I started reading that, and she was a cryptologist during World War II, I think it was. And she studied a bunch of the
Cool.
tablets and kind of deciphered them or uh, went over their legitimacy from her expertise. So she said some of them were kind of bullshit, but some of them were they were coherent. They made sense. So when I get the book read all the way through, I'll let you know my analysis on it.
All right, but she's discussing them as if the tablets have been translated.
Yeah, she's tried to do it. Be sorry, I can't talk right now. Tried
Don't
being the
take a
one to
minute.
translate them. Yeah.
If you're stroking, take a second.
Speaking is hard.
Isn't it?
I need a water break.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's thanks Rex for joining us too. By the way, it's these are the questions and the cuneiform. This is, by the way, the cuneiform. A lot of people don't know this. Where I'm located in Minnesota, they have a 9-story underground structure at the U of M. And I actually don't. I don't even know how many layers down it goes, but they have a storage facility with over 10,000 cuneiform tablets just here in Minnesota. It's the
Really?
craziest thing. Yep. And
I was
for a
not aware.
while, I was. Yep, and and they're not all translated. So the fact that we have these stories of Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh goes back to Sumeria. So a lot of people think of it in the Bible, but Gilgamesh goes back into Sumerian lore, and who knows how actual old. But a lot of the tablets are transactional. They're receipts of sales and bill of sales and commitments and stuff like that. But I for a while was participating for fun. You can be a part of a group that gets a picture of a cuneiform tablet, and for a while now they have AI for everyone. Big news, big shocker. They're trying to use AI
Mm-hmm.
to decipher, but you could get access to cuneiform tablets, look at them, and work on translations yourself. So they were open sourcing it for a bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, some people play Sudoku, or whatever. But hey, why not just translate cuneiform tablets? Huh?
Do they still
It
do
could
that
be.
or
I think that yeah, I think they do. But
okay?
the last news story I read, well, yes. So you have your anthropology, paleoanthropology, or who's ever curating that. I'm sure they're looking at it, but at the same time, now AI has the opportunity to do the work that would have taken hundreds of hours. And so it makes me wonder, once they translate, how many other stories have we not heard? Or how many, different versions of Gilgamesh is there? Or just or Enki
Mm-hmm.
um, or any of the Sumerian gods. Like, what are we going to find? Because a lot of people don't know that the Zechariah Sitchin stuff. A lot of the stories that people know of about Sumerian gods are based on cylinder seals. Jennifer Dale, the archaeologist, and I went over this a long time ago. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of these stories that people want to say about, oh, Enki did this and the Sumerians were this way, it's not based on actual cuneiform tablets. It's based on interpretations of cylinder seals. They're literally what they sound like. I'm gonna send you a letter, so I'm gonna roll this little round, cylinder that has all these images on it of these gods and whatever. And it's like, I'm King so and so, or Providence of whatever, mayor of this, that, or owner of this,
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm gonna roll it over and make an image and send you my cuneiform tablet. But that's not a story. It just has pictures of stuff on it, and I have a unique print. And so now you know that you got a tablet from me because it's unique, but it doesn't tell you the stories that we were told from Zachariah Sitchin's work. There is no cuneiform tablets that corroborate the stories of Sumeria as he put them. So to me, it's fascinating that we're digressing with these cuneiform tablets into doing some factual and law-like interpretations of, oh well, this happened to the Sumerians, and we know this because of this, that. And it's like, okay, just show me the cuneiform tablets that you're getting that from. And that's the part where everyone's like, well, I just assumed, they just.
Oh yeah.
And then if you go looking, it's like you just said, there's like stuff on the internet that's, confirming, and some you can't quite read around, or, you're not quite sure on. You were talking about that with some
Mm-hmm.
of the, like you said, some of the, you're reading the book right now, right?
Yep. Yep. I just received it about a week or so ago, and between making videos and doing other research, I've been trying to read that one and actually focus on that when I do read, so I can dive a little deeper into the Michigan tablets, the Michigan relics, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, so, Rex digs really well with some of this stuff. Leak Project does a great job. He does a great job with stuff. We should actually pull Rex into this eventually and just see who we can get through, who we can get to get us access to some of the state of the art, what the current research is, what hasn't maybe been. People love to write papers on it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like it to know if they pulled some stories that are not to prove or disprove the stories about Enki or Samaria or or Gilgamesh or anything. But I'd be really curious if they come up with some new stuff, or alternate stories of the people we're aware of. It'd be really fun if we could get some of the pre-published, but AI, assuming AI didn't lie about it,
Right.
or 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 give it an interpretive. Would you like me to expand on that?
Would you like to know more?
Yes. Would you? Not beyond what's written. So if you could just read me that. All right. What do we have? By the way, so do we have one more? Do we have one more news story or no? I can't remember.
We have. I thought the island was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, we should do the island.
All right, let me swap
So
pages here.
while he's doing that, we have covered mysterious new non-known DNA found in Colombia that doesn't relate to South or Central, but they don't leave out whether or not it is identifiable within the rest of the world. We've talked about Michigan copper, which is just plain showing up everywhere, and we really need to get around to just admitting that intercontinental travel goes back thousands of years before we knew, and that's now being proven. Not just the Paracas of Peru. There's another thing. We already have the Paracas of Peru showing DNA evidence in the Black Caucasus region. So we're already seeing travel to America way past the land bridge option 5, 6, 8,000 years ago. And the
Mm-hmm.
Paracas, I think the number is what, 8 to 10,000 years ago, which doesn't even equate to Lake Titicaca and the ruins being, there's some celestial alignments that show 18 to 36,000 years ago. So yeah, all this just caves. There's just this whole thing is a paper tiger. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this up. We have a sunken island buried for 40 million years, just
Found
reemerged
Atlantis.
from the Atlantic. What was that?
I said we found Atlantis.
Oh, you're gonna push that button already?
No. Continue. I apologize.
No, no. Don't apologize for that's the assumption that everyone is thinking, right? It's Atlantis. You speak on it while I quiet down the hounds.
All right, so we're gonna start reading this. A sunken island buried for 40 million years just reemerged from the Atlantic, and this nation is racing to claim it. Well, I don't. Okay. A vanished island hidden beneath the Atlantic for over 40 million years has reappeared in scientific headlines. It is now igniting a high-stakes battle over deep-sea minerals that could fuel the future of green energy. Okay. There's a picture of it right there. No.
Wait, this island's already green again?
That's what I was just thinking. I said, "There's no way that's the island."
There's no way that it grew plants on it. It just
Yeah.
it like all the plants just came back.
I think they just used this as a picture to throw in the article.
All right. So all right, fine. So we have an island that's reemerging, and what else? What else we got? And by the way, so all over the planet, so we have sure everyone's worried about living on the shorelines in America. Meanwhile, there are islands coming back up. But please continue.
Yeah. It might not it might not rise from the waves like Atlantis, but a long-lost tropical island buried beneath the South Atlantic for tens of millions of years has resurfaced, at least in scientific and political discourse. Hold on.
You know the problem with this island coming up is what happens when we find buried tools and buried any kind of DNA. I mean, they were doing follow this one off the coast of Doggerland is what was the continent of basically France to Scotland used to be one giant space, and from 4 to 6,000 years ago, 6 to 8,000 years ago, up to 18,000 years ago, Doggerland existed from Scotland to France, and it was massive continental. It was almost another. It really was another continent, and within that space, people are going to live on those shorelines. And the flora and fauna, so we're talking plants and seeds and genetic information for the biology of that continent, they were pulling out of the sea salt sand that was underwater off the coast in the Atlantic, in the North Atlantic, near Scotland, near England, near France. They're pulling up flora and fauna from the sand that is under the sea of Doggerland. So here is an island, 40 million years old, that is going to have biological flora and fauna evidence. And then on top of it, just like Extreme Human Antiquities of Michael Cremo World, we have an island that even if it doesn't have actual humans on it, there is things within the sands and sediments that could be tools and artifacts.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh. All right. So, what were you going to read about science sovereignty and?
I was just reading. So, it's definitely a misleading title. It's that the island didn't just pop up again, and that's why I said it scientifically. So it's still underwater, but they know that it was above water at some point. I had to read past that. So.
Okay, so they mislead with the article. Lame.
Yep. No, if I didn't catch that one sentence about scientifically, I would have read the whole thing thinking it was sitting above the water.
Yeah, but isn't this interesting? Because this is exactly a point where you have an island that was above,
yep,
and it's not that far under, right?
Let's see. Sediment samples extracted from depths of 650 meters.
Oh, it is times. That would be times 3.5 for everyone who wants to do the math on that. How many meters?
Let's see. 650
600?
meters.
Yep. So 612, 18, 19. So about over 2,000 feet.
Yep.
Okay, well, that leads us to the find of the sunken city off of Cuba. We're talking that era.
That's right.
Yep. So the sunken city off of Cuba is approximately 2,700 feet. And now we're talking, are we talking biblical flood? And are we talking 12 and a half younger dryas? Are we talking 12,500 years ago? Or are we talking, and again, 40 million years. So
Mm.
has it been underwater the whole time? Or are we, is the, okay, the DNA defined of nothing in Central or South America, this DNA exists. And we were just talking about Colombia, right? They have this DNA. They don't then say that it's from somewhere in Europe or anywhere else, which it could be. That's the one misdirect. Here, we have an island that's 40 million years ago. Okay, wait, was it only above water 40 million years ago, or was it above water at that depth? Has it been up during the Cuban city? Has it been
And
above water, what, 50,000 years ago?
yeah,
40,000. So if they're pulling up at 2,000 feet, if they're pulling up scientific testing, testable samples, why? My question to you is why aren't we doing that with Cuba? And yes, I understand that it's Cuba. I understand that it's waters that are. I understand. And
mm,
then what about off the coast of Graham Hancock became famous in the 90s going in looking for the original home of Krishna as they're pulling up bars, jugs, tools, artifacts from a city that could not have been above water except at the end of the last ice age, at a minimum 33,000 years ago. At a minimum, 30, the number I think was between 33 and 40,000 years. So again, if we rewind, city off of Cuba, this one, and we're
mhm.
looking at off the coast of India now, we're talking a solid evidence for a worldwide population living in coastlines that are miles off current coast and to 25. Well, okay, the Krishna city, they're able to dredge up things accidentally from fishing boats. It's a highly uh, currented water. So it's not
Okay.
2,000 feet, but it's somewhere that, again, you wouldn't have been above water except at least 30, 40,000 years ago.
Yeah, and was it 400, 400 some feet? The oceans would have been lower at 12,000 years ago. No,
A lot.
imagine. Yeah, that's in low-lying areas. That's a lot of water. It's a lot of land it can gain. So
At
yeah.
12,500 years ago, most of Doggerland, again, from
Hmm.
Scotland to France, would have looked, it was a whole other continent added onto Europe.
Oh, same
Doggerland
as,
would have been
yeah.
same as where?
I was gonna say Sunderland too.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, all that. Um, is was it Sunderland that's off of Australia, or was that the one in the,
Well, are you like Lumeria? Are you talking about
that's what I was
Lumeria?
thinking. I was thinking of. Yep,
Yeah,
Lemuria.
so Lumeria, for everyone listening, Lumeria would the theoretical continent or the idea that it was maybe Atlantis, again, anything buried or anything sunken, but Lumeria was so big, it was a continent that would touch Madagascar in the west in Africa. It would have touched Australia in the east. And then again, imagine a map. So a continent that's attached to Madagascar, touching Australia, and went all the way and touched the southern tip of India. That's how big Lumeria was supposed to have been. But it apparently hydrostatically shifted down, like the city. That's one of the theories about when they try to justify how did the sunken city off of Cuba get so deep, they're like hydrostatic plate shifting. So the theory of continental plates, that's what all of our land sits on, that a bunch of water leaked under the ocean and made them, and then suddenly all that water got pushed up. And so it just sunk,
Yep.
which I guess nobody needed a geological lesson on that shit. Don't let me digress anymore. I
Hey,
gotta not digress. What?
makes for good talks.
Okay, fine. You're right. Encourage it.
Sometimes you don't want to go too
All right,
far.
wait. Where's Sunderland then?
Sunderland. I think that was Polynesia.
Okay, yeah. So that whole area from Malaysia down, that whole area, that there was like another. It was like another Doggerland, but in the east, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of Malaysia, Indonesia, all the way down through Borneo, or not maybe not more to uh, the east of that. But yeah, that was a massive area. I mapped all that. I included that when I released my book. It's not aliens, worse it's us, discovering a lost history. I included a map that I spent a lot of money and time on trying to figure it out. You got something else I should pull up to
Yeah, just
show?
Sunderland. Sunderland.
All right. Yeah, exactly this. It's massive and it understates it until you see the imaging. This is exactly, again, imagine people living on the beach. For everyone watching, if you're listening and you're on the road, thanks for joining us. It's RQX, and we got Jeff from up north, and we are talking
Yo.
about all the sunken, well, we're talking about all the sunken places, right? A lot of the sunken places. And this is
Yeah.
tens of millions of years. I mean, it's hundreds of it's not even hundreds of thousands. We're talking even 8,000, 10,000, 15,000 years ago. There are significant portions of landmass that are above water, which means these are filled with humans and people and animals and flora and fauna that we don't have a read on. We don't have a beat on. Today's continental borders are not yesterday's history.
Nope.
And you've heard Jeff.
No, I agree. I
That's
mean, people forget that even 60 to 80 years ago, the borders in Europe were completely different than they are now. And that just happened in less than 100 years. So imagine what could happen in 10,000, 15, 20 millions of years.
oh, and yeah,
Yep.
we can't get back to Doggerland. I can't get people to get their head around the fact that we're looking at coastlines that
Mhm.
whether you're Florida, Coral Castle.
Yeah.
Let's go back to someplace local for everyone, for at least for those listening on this side of the pond, and not in Scotland or to Simon at the Simon Laurie King show and all our Scottish friends that are watching. We have Coral Castle sitting at the end of Florida, and everyone, the mystery is how did he build it? Because it was this little guy building these massive ton structures, and there's all this talk of him floating megalithic blocks, and he's cutting what is old coral. A lot of people don't know this. Florida is a foot below sea level, which should
Wow.
really concern the southern end of it. But the southern end of it, where Coral Castle was built, so way down there. And I've been to it. I was there with Michael Tellinger. We went together. So you have the southern tip having Coral Castle. He dug up this coral limestone. So it's old coral reefs that have built up into and turned into, they're petrified. They look like
Mhm.
a stone now, but they're porous because it was coral. Here's the thing a lot of people don't know. The meat, the in quotes land mass that Florida is for most of the tip of it is actually 4,000 plus feet of coral.
I did not know that.
Not, yep, not the edge of it. I'm talking like the most of the land mass is 4,000 feet thick of coral,
Jeez.
which means if we were, say, at that city off the coast of Cuba,
Hmm.
it sure the hell would be a different coastline than the current location of Florida at 50,000 years ago. And it would be really, really interesting to me to know then how fast can coral petrify and turn into stone, begs the question. How was the water flowing that there's this sunken city off of Cuba that would have been easily above water 50,000 years ago? Could the coastlines have changed that dramatically for Florida and accumulated 4,000 feet of coral in less than 50,000 years? I don't think that's the time. I don't know a lot about coral. And for those listening on the go, you know, would love some feedback on that. But yeah, any thoughts?
First with the coral thing, like I said, I had no idea that was that much. And yeah, how long does it take to petrify? I mean, they could figure that out. But another thing is, like what you were saying with the city off the coast of Cuba. I wish so badly someone would actually go back there and map it. Just dive down there. How deep?
Yeah.
How deep was it? I know you did an interview with the guy that.
Yeah, with Paul,
Yeah.
that was Christy. That was Christy's doing. That was really great. He hadn't given an interview. He's in his 80s, and he hadn't talked to anyone in a long time.
Mhm.
But he and his wife studied it, and it is it is about 22 to 2,400 feet deep, about
Wow.
1,700 meters deep, and it is megalithic in size. He was convinced of it. Now, again, these are done from sonographs. These are the like the idea of pillars under the Great
Mhm.
Pyramid. That is a artificial imaging. So the in quotes the picture of the city under Cuba is an artistic interpretation off of the sonar that was used
Mhm.
to build a very sophisticated modeling. But based on the not the imaging, based on the scans, Paul was more than convinced and super solidly believing that what we were looking at was truly a megalithic city. So yeah, you want to get over there, and we just need some underwater submersibles. So if we're pulling up samples at
Yeah,
2,000 feet, I think we need 2,700, 2,400.
I'm sure we can outsource this.
Can we get Uber
Anyway,
divers, like lift divers? It's like,
that'd be funny.
you know, can we trick them into it? Like, can you deliver the pizza down to the city?
Perhaps.
No, like Uber Eats all the way to the sunken city up in Cuba.
I don't even know if we have that here.
You know what? I can't imagine what the delivery fee is going to be, and B, if we have to tip.
Yeah, it might be better off just hiring a private treasure hunter.
Uh-huh. And well, that was one of the things that they were looking for. The whole reason that city was found was because they were looking for Spanish galleons.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things that they were actually going after was Spanish galleons. And instead, they find a massive sunken city. Yep. I mean, how many times does that happen?
Probably more than we'll ever know, but no one will talk
And,
about it.
and we have a sunken city that would validate what if there's, again, bones, things that have been preserved, that and tools and advanced, the things that are from the step pyramid of Saqqara and the things that you're going to go see in Egypt. We have untouched milled megalithic constructions that are 50,000 years old. So the whatever's left of vases or whatever is going to be left of showing high technology, frequencies, energies, soils, the flora and fauna. We think, oh, what type of plants? But what I speak on all the time is all the engineered soil around Earth that's man-made, biologically intelligent and smart soil that is functioning not only to grow highly nutrient dense food, but it's filtering heavy metals, it's piezoelectric, it's sending and receiving signals, it seems to be identically made around the world. So we're talking in an era that is, again, showing an epoch of human civilization that at 50,000 feet, there's no way anyone's touched it. There's been no manipulation. They can't burn the books if they can't get there. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Too much. Is that too much?
No, you're good. There was one more here we had. If you wanted to cover that, I think we got enough time to cover
Yeah,
it.
we got.
It's a quick one.
We
It's a
don't.
quick read.
Yeah, let's do
As
it.
long as okay, as long as I
We
can
got
read it
time.
slow enough for people to understand me.
You just it. Oh, so speaking of underwater, but Atlantis, the Maya, and tracing the forgotten connection in Guatemala's temples. You go for it.
All right. Making sure I didn't forget half of what I read it earlier. All right. For centuries, seekers of lost civilizations have gazed across the Atlantic in search of Atlantis, the mysterious land described by Plato as an advanced society destroyed in a great cataclysm. Egypt, the Mediterranean, and the Mid-Atlantic Ridge had been proposed as its resting place. Oh, look at that there. They got it mapped out.
Yep.
And that's a picture of deep sea Atlantic Ocean soundings by Challenger Dolphin Expeditions, as mentioned by Ignatius Donnelly. Oh, boy. We won't go there.
Quill and pens. All right.
Yeah. But what if part of the legacy of Atlantis survived, not only beneath the sea, but deep in the jungles of Central America? Guatemala, with its monumental Mayan cities, mythic traditions, and sacred temple complexes, may hold echoes of a forgotten world. Recent archaeological discoveries, combined with mythological parallels, suggest that the ancient Maya preserved fragments of much older memory, one that resonates strongly with Plato's account of Atlantis. Let's see. Plato's account in the Timaeus and Critias describes Atlantis as powerful civilization that fell due to its own hubris, swallowed by floods and earthquakes. Solon learned from the priest Sankis at the Temple of Neith in Sais, Egypt, now flooded, provide us with many interesting references to Atlantis. That's a representation of the Temple of Neith.
Okay.
Very nice.
It looks very Egyptian. Kind of.
A little bit. All right. They describe intense earthquakes, followed by huge tsunami waves that even destroyed parts of the Acropolis, which, as mentioned, was far larger in pre-cataclysmic times than it appears today. There is also mention of Phaethon, the son of the sun, who on his carriage lost his way and fell to earth. This could in fact symbolize a solar flare, a hypothesis supported by Dr. Robert Schoch and other notable scientists. That one actually, the solar flare theory, that one kind of gives me goosebumps just as much, if not more, than like a meteor or an asteroid.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean, because meteors and asteroids are traveling through space. I mean, it could be coming through. The sun's always right there, so
You're waiting for the sun to make one mistake, and that's a little concerning. You're thinking, just in case.
yeah.
You're right, and this is by okay. Just to fully disclose, the minute the idea of an electric car that came along, I mean that all electric cars when they became a reality, and when I found out that it's all electronic, so one big solar event could knock out every electrical thing on Earth, which would include your electrical car, which would mean
All
that,
vehicles that run on electronics, basically.
to be fair, a lot of people do not know that their cars are drive-by-wire, and what that means is that your car drives. You turn the steering wheel, and you think you're driving the car. That there's this mechanical belt, and you're controlling the wheels. You're not. It's actually a computer, which blows. I think a lot of people don't understand drive-by-wire, and so I think it's important to have a car that you can actually steer. Always,
Yep.
personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, even anything close to the Carrington event, the 1800s event that literally set telegraphs on fire.
It did?
Would nuke. Yeah. Yeah. They were sparking, exploding. The telegraph lines and everything were going nuts. I think even people said they unplugged the telegraphs and they're still sparking and burning on the ground.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So,
No, that's
so
just. Now imagine if something like that. I think it was 1870s or 1880s that happened, or maybe 1890s. And that's basically all they had was telegraphs for the most wires connecting stuff. Nowadays, one quick little burp from the sun, we're done for however long. Anything that you relied on, any energy, any electrical grids, anything like that. If you don't know how to build a fire and it's wintertime, you're dead.
well, not only that, but like Airbus and Boeing, the saying is, if it's not Boeing, I'm not going, which is because Boeing has all the mechanical wiring so that if you want to control the flaps and the wings, everything can be controlled manually. But if you have a fully electronic plane, if there's an event like this, it's entirely electronically, driven. then if you have an electrical failure, you are not going to be doing anything with those flaps. You're nothing. You're just a giant metal rock in the sky.
Yep.
Just saying.
All right.
And so, yeah, please continue.
Got ourselves off track. I apologize. That was on me.
And who doesn't want more fear and anxiety in their life? Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, doing the best I can.
I was there to back you up. So let's go back to our anxiety and frustration. Let's hear it. We got
All
time.
right.
We still
We
got time.
ended, speaking of the solar flares. All right. Another possibility is this could describe a comet impact. Scientific proof of such an event has been found in the form of nano diamond rich layer in Central America and parts of Europe. When one begins to piece all of this together, it becomes clear that this is not merely a fairy tale or an invention of Plato's imagination. Even the date presented by Plato is 9600 BC, for the cataclysm and a destruction of Atlantis, which coincides with the Younger Dryas hypothesis. There's a read more.
Well, you can always take a look
Nope.
while you're pulling up read more.
There's
There's
read more. For those drawn to Atlantis, lost civilizations, and the wisdom of the ancients, Guatemala offers not just answers but experiences that transform.
well, that seemed to be a quick period on this.
And
Okay. All right. So this is all the impetus for everyone watching. This is all on the idea. We find this city that's underwater, that has been underwater 40 million years. The reality is that it could have been up and down underwater multiple times. We're seeing evidence of that. So yeah, we actually crushed 90 minutes almost. So before you go, you want to talk a little more quick about where everybody can find you and your upcoming trip and anything else you would like to talk before we kick out of here for the night?
Yeah. So let me do something quick. Yeah. So like I said, I'll be heading to Egypt. The end of next week. Yes. So the end of next week. Be there for what is it? Yeah, about 8-9 days, and hopefully I will be able to get some video content out, like you said. If times line up to where I got some free time and you're up and about, if we want to do something, maybe we can do a quick little, maybe even on the plateau. If the service,
yes,
Wi-Fi is good to go. That'd be cool. Walking around talking to you. We got the pyramids behind me or the Sphinx. So we'll see if there's public Wi-Fi happening. Or good internet. We'll see.
100%.
Yeah.
If we can get you at the sorry, keep going. But please, yes, I'm lots of requests on that. We go live.
Sure. Yeah, we'll put it down. And then if you're interested in following me on YouTube at all, it's just Jeff Up North 57 on YouTube. Jeff Up North on X. Those are the two main places you can find me. I dropped my YouTube in the description there if anyone, or in the in the chat.
All right, cool.
If you're interested in giving me a follow. Yeah, my main shtick that I do on you with my videos is Upper Peninsula copper, Michigan copper. So
which you have found on you've had some pretty cool successes and finds up there. I'm super impressed.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've only found the one that knife.
So okay, some people go their whole lives and finding. Do you know how many archaeologists find nothing their whole lives?
Yeah, that is true.
It's that big of a deal. I only won the Powerball once, Jared, but whatever.
Okay, I guess I suppose you put it that way. It is. It was definitely a defining moment for me. I never expected to actually find anything.
I mean, you've been on mounds of. Yeah, you've been on mounds, mines. You okay. Please continue with the in mind that you are actually king dangling a little bit.
No. Yeah, I walk through the woods. I go around. Like I look for ancient copper mine pits, and I look around like the 1800s mines. I kind of explore around those areas too. I mean, I think they're pretty cool, so I like to make videos about that as well. But yeah,
what else? No, please. Anything else?
Okay, I'll continue. Yeah. No, I try to do things on my channel now and then too. So.
Yeah, I mean, what days are you guys live? Or
so what I do is I try to go every other Thursday. So tomorrow would be the next day I have a stream at 7:00 p.m. Central.
All right, cool.
And yep,
And I've been on.
Yep, we've had you on before. That was a very fun episode, for sure.
Yeah, you have some cool friends.
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, my co-host Isaac 556x45 and my buddy Andrew. So we do that.
Yeah.
Try to do it every other Thursday, but sometimes it doesn't line up. But tomorrow I plan on doing one. Not sure on the topic yet. We try to not do just the ancient history stuff or just Michigan. We try to have a large amount of different topics we can go over so we don't paint ourselves in a corner.
Oh no, you have some incredible guests on. You've already had some incredible guests on.
Yeah.
And you just got started. So I'm looking forward to more, and I appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, no. Thanks for having me on again. It's a lot of fun. And it's always good to see you, talk to you. So
yeah, which means if you hold on for a minute, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and then I'll play the outro and we can talk for a second.
Sounds good.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. And this is again another great episode. We have been at this. I've been traveling, writing a lot of new content. Michael Cremo and ourselves are going to be doing an ArchaeoX. We are going to be doing co-hosting the Forbidden Archaeologist. We are going to have Michael on soon to talk about what we're going to be starting, what we're going to be doing, which of course his latest book, The Extreme Human Antiquity, is available online at extremehumanantiquity.com. That is of course his website, and you can find it online. Just look up that, or Forbidden Archaeology, any of Michael's work, Human De-Evolution. There's a lot. There's all his seminal works. They've been around. He's been around with that. That is something that I'm personally super excited about. There is other things coming up. We have some great new affiliates and sponsors. I'd like to thank CKC Good Food Catering. And we will be getting to so much more next week, and there will be new episodes and new shows or new topics being introduced over the next few weeks. Looking forward to seeing everyone again. Thanks for joining us tonight.